Hi, Joe Wiggins here. It's a little tutorial on how to play a 1 and 2 octave arpeggio. So there are various keys that we could try this in, but we're going to go for the most simple, which is C. I'm doing this an octave higher on my piano, just so the camera angle is okay. So an arpeggio is made up of the first 3 notes of a chord, or in a scale, note 1, note 3, and note 5. These 3 notes are then repeated up the piano to make an arpeggio. This is a full 2 octave arpeggio, then I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, so the same shape that I have for the first octave of the arpeggio is the same shape I have for the second. The challenge is, let's just move that camera so you can see that a bit easier. The challenge is changing the position. So the first thing you want to practice is just 1 octave. The way that we want to do this is by taking the shape of C and C with our little finger. If we can't reach that, just try and get as near to that C as you can. You notice that when I stretch an octave, it pulls my other 2 fingers out, and it pulls my second and third finger out pretty much over the 2 notes that I need, E and G. So I've got the first, the third, the fifth, and the octave under my fingers. I can play them with a steady beat like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the scales, the last note is twice as long. So to play a 2 octave arpeggio in our right hand, what we do is we put our thumb under after our third finger onto C and repeat the same shape again. So master the 1 octave arpeggio to begin with, and when you can do that, try the 2. So I'm going to do this really slowly. Now I get to my third finger, my thumb is coming under to the next C. Then I'm stretching out the octave so I can continue the arpeggio. Let me show you again. That's the ascending part. When we come back down from our little finger, we try and cover all of those notes, always trying to stretch an octave. When we get to our thumb, we're going to put a third finger across onto a G. Now it feels like quite a stretch, so don't worry if you need to let go of that C a little bit to get to the G. So here's the whole thing again. It's important to learn this slow and steady at first to get used to the position changes, and then speed it up once you've got that. We don't want to hear an arpeggio where we're hesitating between position changes like. Yeah, we want a nice smooth arpeggio. Now the left hand does the same thing with the same fingers, 5, 3, 2 and 1. We start with a little finger, third and second finger on the same notes, and again we practice just the first octave to begin with. Once we're comfortable with that, we're going to put a third finger over onto E. When we come back down in the left hand, we put our thumb onto the C. Here's the full left hand arpeggio. So it will take a bit of practice if you haven't done these before to get your arpeggios to that speed. But you're looking for even in timing and even in volume. If you've got a grade 2 ABRSM scales book, then do follow the music of these scales as you play them, because it will contain the fingering and the starting position for each note. C major isn't in grade 2, but the fingering for this arpeggio it's pretty much the same for all of the arpeggios in grade 2. So if you master a simple one, say in grade 2 it might be G, once you get used to that arpeggio, the others will fall in place. Okay, I hope that helps. Good luck.